Hey y'all, what's up? What's up? Philly service announcement. I'm Nick, Raw Cannon. My brother Rue, he coming. He on his way. Philly service announcement, 5 to 6 every Tuesday, y'all. Takeover Tuesday. Make sure y'all tune in. Before we get started with our special guests, because we always got special guests, I want to just kind of do a quick update on our little raffle we got going on. The love is real. Y'all getting on there. Y'all got to do it right, though. Y'all have to do it right. In order to enter the raffle, you have to do exactly what the instructions say. You got to share the post, follow us, like, comment, and tag 2 friends, and your page must be public. If we cannot see that you shared our post because your page is private, you do not get entered into the drawing, and you did all of that other than to follow us and show us some love. You won't get entered in for the tickets. But my brother is in the building. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Did we do everything? Did we do Philly service announcement?
Excuse me?
Are you questioning me?
Are you questioning me?
I gotta take this hat off. I just wanted to show everybody this hat because I love this hat. I just got it. It was netted by my brother's grandma. So, but I'm gonna take it off because it's hot as hell. I love this hat.
I like it.
So
that's love, support, and grace right there.
Yeah, social activism, resources, art. So because we let people introduce themselves, and we have another young lady, I'm not going to tell y'all what her name is because she's going to introduce herself as well. I might have to go to the door and get her. I don't want her to miss the, it's kind of like, was it hard to find? It was hard to find? Oh, okay, cool. So we don't introduce people because I don't want nobody calling me, DMing me, texting me, you said my name was this and it wasn't that, and I couldn't say nothing to you on the air, but now, like, you going to get my name straight? And I was like, no, just messing with you. But I feel like it's more impactful when you tell who you are. You know what I'm saying? Than me just it just sounds like I'm reading something off. Like, she's that. You know what I mean? And that's one of the reasons why we don't do it. So, without further ado, before I say this too, before I go to her, Worcester and Dairy, every Saturday, food for families. Last week, it was like 5 people out there already with their bags before the truck even got there. So I know for a fact that PSA is making an impact in West Oak Lane. Like I said, a lot of the people out there that we're serving are seniors, something that I didn't know. I know that that's our old enclave. That was our suburb. When you was getting money, that's where you moved to. You know what I'm saying? And because of a lot of different reasons, those neighborhoods don't look the same, but those initial people who bought those homes are still up there. Our elderly folks, black folk. And they come out every Saturday. That's mainly the people that I talk to. They're out there consistently. They need other people. We need more food. I need more volunteers. We need to do more deliveries because it's other people who are a little further away but still in that neighborhood that can't make it to that destination to get the food. And I have a lot of elderly people who support their brothers and sisters, their friends that live out there, and they'll come pick up the food for them, and we try to do the same, but we want to be able to touch more people because it is a need up there. And we want to be able to keep helping our elderly up there. So every Saturday, PSA, matter of fact, this Saturday we won't be there. We've been posting it. I gotta look and see. I gotta look at the flyer while we talking because I'm gonna come back to it. We're gonna be in another destination, another spot next Saturday because it's gonna be a bigger situation. We're gonna be giving out turkeys. We're gonna be giving out more fresh food. We're gonna have giveaways and stuff like that. So I'm gonna give that. I'm gonna look on my phone and see what the flyer is to get the address and everything. But every Saturday, Worcester and Madera, 8 o'clock. There's more people coming now. You got to get out there at 8, at 9, or the food going to be gone by like 11, 12, 1 o'clock now. You know what I mean? So PSA, love, support, and grace. I love doing it. I love talking to our elderly folks. I got youth volunteers out there. I got adult volunteers. Again, I need more people to come out if you can. We're going to find another food source or try to get shared to give us more food. My sister Erica Stewart always out there with me, Social Impact Cafe. And I gotta let y'all know that every time I'm on. And the 20th is also the deadline to the raffle, right?
Yes, it is.
So the 20th is the deadline for those tickets. And if y'all want to be ballers like we ballers, you're going to have to participate so you can be on the floor. You know what I'm saying? But without further ado, we got this queen in the house. We got another queen coming. They made a powerful impact on me when I first met them. I was like, yo, y'all got to be on my show. I appreciate y'all coming and acting like it means something to actually be on the show. You know
It
what I'm
do
saying?
mean something. It do mean something.
Nah, but without further ado, allow them to know who you are, what platforms you on, how people can find you.
Yes.
Let them know.
Okay, well, thank you. I want to thank you both for inviting me. And like you said, my friend should be on her way. My name is Ann Turner. I'm the owner of Hair de Jour Salon. We're located in West Philadelphia. I'm really appreciative to be able to come into the studio. So let me first say thank you, because I haven't been on this side of North in a minute. So it's nice to see the love and just
No
the
doubt.
camaraderie from when I first walked in. It was very warm and welcoming. So thank you. And thank you for all that you do. I want to say the advocacy has been across the nation during COVID, but prior to COVID. But I think we're more relevant now because we see such an urgent need
Yes.
for not just small businesses, but just family and friends to join together. So I am truly grateful, because our seniors are always the ones that can't really advocate as much for themselves. So I'm always like centered around teenagers and seniors, because those are the two, to me, that struggle. The younger children still get support and help, as well as older people, but the seniors tend to be pushed to the side. They feel like, oh, we don't need them, but their wisdom,
Right.
that's where the wisdom comes from.
Exactly.
So I want to say
Your
shout
elders.
out. Yes, I want to say shout out to all of my mentors, which is Mr. Dudley. I mean, I am getting ready to go visit him, and for me, being in the hair industry, he's an icon. And then my other mentor is Bishop Louise Williams, and she was on WURD, which she still is. So she allowed me to be able to speak and have a platform like this. So I want to say, throughout my career, if I can just do a short introduction, I've been self-employed in the hair industry for over 35 years. And with that, I was able to work with 200 barbershops and hair salons in the state of Pennsylvania during this pandemic. So not only am I a salon owner, I'm also the president of PA Professional Image Alliance. I can share with you the website for anybody that's listening or tuning in. It's important that barbershops and hair salons stay the staples in our neighborhood. So
Yes.
I am grateful to be able to have this platform, because you know as well as I do, we do more than just do hair.
Yes.
We talk about the social problems, the financial problems, the emotional problems, and it all happens in our place of business. So
Yes.
if that's something that you want me to get into, I can, or you just tell me where I should
we-
pause.
We could get there. We
Okay.
can definitely get
I'll
there. I
pause.
want you to share your website and your
Okay.
platforms, stuff
Okay.
like that you on. So where can people find you at?
Yes.
You know, you got the website. You on social media? Any
Yes,
social
so
media
we're on
platforms?
Instagram. Yeah, so our Instagram is PA Professional Image Alliance, as well as Facebook. We also have our website, and you get to see all the great things we've done. Is www.pennproia.org. That's penpro.org. Thank you.
Okay. Now, really quick, you touched on something that you said. You work with how many other shops and salons throughout the pandemic?
Yeah, 200 barbershops and hair salons. Yeah, 200
200.
barbershops and hair salons. Yes.
Oh my goodness! And what did y'all do?
So we fought to get if you remember in the beginning, they had the CARES grant, which was $225 million. It took our advocacy to talk about the needs of small businesses. And because of that, we were able to solidify $225 million. And most recent, we were able to solidify $20 million for the beauty industry. So really grateful for
Which
that.
is a much needed industry.
Yes.
Like, where we gonna go to get our hair done?
That
I'm
speak
sorry,
our language.
that- listen.
That speak our language.
That who we gonna talk to? You know, you know what them shops do, the stylists and everybody. You know they I'm sorry, y'all. You know the stylists and everybody. Like, you know, they're our mentors, our therapists. You know, we can talk to y'all about anything, and you know, y'all hold a lot.
Yes.
Y'all hold all of your clients' secrets,
Yes.
and you know, y'all are, like you said, you have mentors. Y'all are mentors for a lot of people
think I am.
that come to get services.
Yeah.
And before we go even further,
Yes.
I want to allow our next queen who is here, and I want you to introduce yourself, tell them who you are, let them know what platforms you on, where can they find you. Without further ado.
Well, hi everyone. My name is Monique Dudley. I'm from Overall Training. I have a company called Overall Training. It's a workforce development institution. And what I'm looking for is we have various trades. We have dental assisting. Now we partner with Miss Ann for cosmetology. We have a barber's program. We're doing phlebotomy and a few other programs that we're getting ready to launch out. And I've been doing trades for about 7 years in the city of Philadelphia, and we felt that it was a really great need for what it is that we want to do. So I'm a registered apprenticeship program and also a group sponsor. So basically what we do is we go into businesses and see if they're available to hire and employ some of our people to get them off the street and make sure that they're able to maintain a wage that is livable.
We need more. We need more organizations like that.
Yes.
I think that is great what you're doing. But really quick, can you share where they can find you at, like any social media platforms or websites?
Absolutely. So we're on OAT_empower on Instagram. We are on Facebook under Remy Dudley. We're also on Facebook at Overall Training at Facebook Overall Training, and then we're also on our website is OAT or overalltraining.org.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, you ladies have introduced yourself. My brother, he's doing some things over here. He's back. He's back. He's back. Here we go. Hello. 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 We got another special guest over here. This is what we do. You want to introduce yourself, our special. You want to introduce yourself, our special guest?
Yes. Hi, I'm Jacqueline Taylor Adams. I'm a marketing and business strategist. I work with a lot of our nonprofits from grant writing, program development. I've been doing this for over 20 years.
Awesome. 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 Do you have any social media platforms, websites, or anything like that where people can contact you?
You can follow me at Taylor Adams, TAYLORADAMS, the number 4 ME, and you can find me on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on Pinterest, on Alignable, every platform you can find me at Taylor Adams for me. You can visit my website at tayloradamsforme.com, as well as Taylor Adams Marketing, Master Griot Publishing, Master Griot Radio, and many others.
Okay, okay, run it down, run it down. I think that deserves some snaps, right?
So,
Yes.
I'm cool with
Definitely.
being on the camera, even though I have
Get over
Come
here.
on,
Get over
come
here.
on, no,
Seriously.
you here?
We're supposed to start doing the Black Queen Experience.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know for sure whether I was going to be on or not be on. So we gonna see what that looks like. So this is the Black
Well,
Queen
what is a
Experience
black
starting.
queen without a black king?
Well, that's why I'm
Say it
saying
again.
Absolutely.
Oh, you gotta hold us down.
Listen.
You balance
Say
us
it
out.
again.
So
Listen.
the first question I do want to ask is how did Monique, how did y'all meet? Like how did that happen? Because I met y'all together, so I thought everything was together initially.
Right. So I want to say, we vibed together. So Jackie introduced me to Monique, and I was honored a few months back. And once we had the introduction, we've been riding ever since. Yeah. So
The question I got for Miss Jackie is how I'm looking at it like you the elder. You know what I'm saying? Like you're the elder in the group. Is like, is this something you do all the time, or is it just it was happenstance with them too? Do you like seek people out like, yo, we need to be moving together in a certain way?
I don't necessarily seek people out, but like I said, I'm a strategist. So as a strategist, your goal is always how, you look at your outcomes and then you build a plan to get there. And you want to do it with the least amount of energy, time, and money. That's the basic infrastructure of a strategy. So Ann and I connected through I Buy Black on a leadership committee.
Mm-hmm.
So that had been over a year and various different things, and I got to know her. Last year during the pandemic, we put together a virtual marketplace during the holiday, and so I got to know her business. She does my hair. She grew my hair, and so I'm connecting with her on a regular. Monique, I actually connected with her when I reconnected back to the House of Umoja. I've been working with them since 2003. So I worked there from 2003 2009. And mom, you never leave, mom. Queen mother, everybody call her mom. You never leave. So I went back there, and she wanted me to help with a reading initiative for fathers. And that's when I met Monique for the first time, all of like February 2020. So I got to know her, and I really was helping her because she was really doing something special, and being women
Yes.
in a predominantly male-driven field.
Yes.
You know, she was really like bumping a lot of heads, and I told her, even though I didn't know her industry per se, but I
Right.
knew what she was bumping into. I
Right.
said, you know what? And so I told her I would serve on her board. So we had connected at that point. Now, I also work with Philadelphia Legacies,
Okay.
and we sometimes get the opportunity. I get the opportunity to suggest people to honor.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, hey, community actor, you got to know this Ann Turner. She is a bulldozer. She's doing this and that. She is really advocating. And so I told them, you know, I submitted her name to be honored. So he held this special networking event before, and her and I was there, and then she was talking about her business accelerator and how they were having problems getting the right people.
Mm-hmm.
Monique is actually an excellent teacher who has one of the highest retention rates. During COVID, when people were learning via virtual, she had a 98% retention rate.
That's amazing. That's
And
amazing.
so-
Snaps. That's amazing.
And it's always that community that is quote unquote hard to learn.
Yeah, well, if you know how to teach them, they ain't hard to learn.
Yeah,
Right.
but they're labeled as that.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
Ann was saying that her problem was getting the right people. And I said, oh, you need to talk to Monique. You need to talk to Monique.
Right.
And then, but we were all networking, and then she
Right.
come the next day and said, where's that Monica? I'm like, Mom, we connect with Monica. And I didn't know what she was talking about. Then
And
I
she used to
finally
call me
figured out.
Mama too.
Yeah, they with names.
And then when I connected them, they really connected.
Yeah.
So
I love her.
it's,
She's the best.
I'm 57 years young. I know a few people. So, when you see it works,
Right.
why not?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I do want to ask, if you don't mind me asking, I noticed that you mentioned two things. I Vibe Black. What did you say?
Yeah, I Buy Black.
What is that?
Well, I Buy Black was a directory.
Okay.
It was a black directory, a website. Everybody has to remember Earl Harvey.
Yes.
So
And we're actually honoring him. So December the 7th, we'll
Yeah.
be doing something at the African American Museum. We'll
yeah.
make sure you guys come out and support.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. And the other one was the legacies. What was?
Oh, Philadelphia Legacies. You can find it at philadelphialegacy.org. And it's a man named Steve Sattel.
Shout out to Steve.
Yeah, and Steve just he had a program called Bridging Worlds, and where he worked to bridge children, and he likes to write in literature, but he's really like a history buff, and he really came enamored again with the House Umoja, David Fatah, and all of them. And I just somewhere he just sees a lot of community people and a lot of people he felt weren't being recognized. So during the Democratic Convention back in 2016, he thought that was a good time when they were all coming in town to do something. And
Okay.
he started this dinner, and he works with the restaurant school, and so he likes these places really great dinners. And he just started recognizing people, and come to find out, I've known Steve forever through the theater, but I didn't know he was so into the visual arts. And so he actually established a portrait award. So we had the Portrait Awards, which honors people with portraits, legacy makers. And then he does a Lifetime Achievement Award. 2 years ago, he started the Young Person to Watch Award. And he always has had the Community Awards. So for those unsung people, just people we don't know.
Right.
And Ernie Bristow, she generally recommends most community people. And he's allowed me a couple. Like last year, I got Mercer, Lifetime Achievement, Mercer Red Cross of October Gallery. And this year we had a few people. So, that's, it's an opportunity. You share. He looks at their bio and, find them worthy. So just opportunity to tell our stories.
So
Wow.
the first thing I want to say with that is we need to do something live from there because that's kind of like what we do as far as this being a
Absolutely.
resource show and people who serve our community.
Right.
We want to make sure they come on the show so it's another platform for people to know. So we definitely got to try to figure out how to definitely bring him on the show
Right.
and do something live from the awards. with
Yes,
BSA.
that would be great.
The other thing that I need y'all to do is we can start with you and allow us to know what your resource is. What is the resource that you provide to the community? What is the resource?
You talking about hair salon, like
I mean,
hair
I
service?
know.
Okay.
This is a
So shout out to all the hot stylists in Philadelphia.
Yes, yes. Shout out.
I specialize in hair care and hair loss, so I actually created an all-natural hair care system. So I am now vending in different locations to promote my hair loss products. So we really do need support when it comes to Black economics. So one of the things I want to spend time doing is retail education. A lot of us are labor workers, meaning stylists and barbers, stand on our feet, but the money really is in the product manufacturing. And we have to start tapping into other resources for us to be able to survive and grow and build together. So right now, when you see Integrity Hair Care System, that would be Ann Turner and her team really building out the ecosystem for financial wealth within our business community. Thank you.
Monica?
So we gonna start that. I thought we got to establish.
What is your resource?
Well, my resources as a group sponsorship in a registered apprenticeship program, I deal with workforce development. My resource is a career development curriculum. It's also various trades with certified. Ms. Ann has cosmetology. We also have barber program, again, the phlebotomy, dental assisting. We want to get into the bigger trades soon at some point, but right now this is a great starting point for us. So we can actually offer certifications under the state board. So anyone that comes into our program, they will be state board certified in the state of Pennsylvania, and soon we will be going nationally. So we're looking to go into the urban community and raise up a community and generation to offer these resources of education. And that's our goal. I'm a big advocate of basically healing trauma through education, money, and hope, support. So that's what I'm
And if
here
I
for.
could add to that, Monique, I had a young lady came in today and she does braids and she does it in the house. And I mentioned to her, you can become licensed and certified. And so many times people just want to make all the money in the house. And the reality of it is that's why a lot of people didn't get the money from the pandemic for the PPP because they wasn't licensed and they didn't have all of their credentials together. Not all of them, but some of them. And so now is the time for pivoting when it comes to people that want to do a profession. Don't hustle, because I put my kids through school because I never hustle. I got my license when I graduated, or I received my license when I graduated cosmetology school. So it's important for us to just level up a little bit, just take a little more time and dedication and really focus on being the best at what you're doing. And you need a certification to do that.
I'm going to piggyback on that because there's a lot of training programs and workforce development that's being developed in the city of Philadelphia that does not look like us.
Right.
And what we're looking for is programs that can actually offer certifications.
Right.
So if you look at about 50% of the programs right now that's offering training programs, they're not registered. So you cannot give a certification. So basically you're going somewhere, getting this training and making some money real quick. But what if you need to go somewhere else? What paperwork are you getting ready to prove? And Miss Ann, excellent point. I just went to a hairstylist program with her, and they were upset because a lot of the girls is making money outside of Philadelphia for these lashes and these hairs and these extensions, but they're not certified. So anytime that the city want to come down and shut their businesses down, they can, just like this, because they're not certified or licensed for it. But with Miss Ann having this type of consortium available and we get it registered so that they can be certified, what they going to do? And then she's already have a business. They have a consortium that already have other businesses. So it allows us a way to keep continuing making money so that if
Legally.
legally, because you know this is what happens all the time. Look at the
Right.
food trucks and the stands.
Right.
Look at 52nd Street and Market. Most of them businesses that was out there that was not registered under LLCs and had all the different type of things that they needed under the compliance of the government, it was nothing that we can do about it.
Right.
So being able to go
yeah.
in and do what it is that we need to do so that people could be on point, catch them now so that they could continue to make the money and develop and grow the way
Right.
they need to.
And
Right.
trust us. You know, I think so many times we trust other people.
Right.
That's true. Your resources unlimited.
Mm,
Just
unlimited.
already started talking, but I've been trying to explain like the apprenticeship thing to people. Like when they was like, I'm about to have this young lady on the show, and she's dope, and she can certify you in anything. And it was like, well, what is it called? I don't know. You gotta watch the show.
It's called overall training.
Overall.
And it's free. I'm not going to say that we can certify anything because that's a lie. We need to build a system. So anytime that I come, the structure, the way it moves is this. If I go into a business and I see that it's a need for that trade,
Right.
we can go in and set up a structure, a curriculum, and I can make sure that I maneuver them into compliance with the state board. And what I can do is have the ability to add the trade to that consortium. Right now, it's so many different programs that are like mine that are great too. So what we're doing is basically building out a network into apprenticeships and training programs so that they can get certified. And it sounds different to us because normally we're told either you're going to trade school or you're going into college. But right now, through these apprenticeships, you're able to go into the business and apprentice up.
Right.
And then you'll be certified into that. So yes, honestly, if you look at California and New York right now, they're apprenticing doctors and lawyers.
Right.
Well, just clarity. The one resource I provide is I tell stories. I'm in marketing. It's my job to go in. I find your voice and I help articulate it. So in that apprenticeship it's standard what an apprenticeship is. But what has happened last year, the ability to expand apprenticeship beyond just construction trades and welding it has opened. If it's it has to be an industry though that is going to grow.
Right.
If it's an industry on a downturn, then that's different. And so the government is open now to apprenticing various trades, and what that allows a person to do is to get certified in something that is nationally recognized at no cost, and they're getting paid. So the person where Monique was teaching at trade school, her students were paying $17,000 a year. She offers them the same thing, but now they don't pay. They come, they still get their scrubs. If we can maybe help with transportation. So now they don't have to worry about paying for school and child care and transportation. Then they're being paid a wage. So they may start off a little lower because they're training, but when they make their whatever ways that they choose, either the number of hours or either what they learn, whatever they make their increments, they grow. And they end it at a living wage, at the industry rate for whatever industry they're in. And then they have the opportunity to go take their state boards. Now, what's special about overall training, it's a group sponsor, which means she can bring in various programs, but overall training has standards. So each group sponsor has their standards. Her standard already is high retention. And so that's her big thing. So she brings in programs to make sure they're structured in a way that the students really learn, and they know that at the end they're going to go get certified. So they make sure that they teach to empower them as best they can to pass those certifications. And so that's the biggest difference with apprenticeship, is the opportunity to learn, to get a nationally recognized certification, but you don't have to pay.
Okay. So this sounds like a wonderful program, right?
Yes.
And I'm just kind of appalled at myself that I never even heard of it before. But how?
Well, if you've heard of Dobbins,
It's
they
only
had
yes,
it in high school.
yes,
same thing.
Yeah, so
Yes.
we just
Yes.
have an example. Yeah,
Right. So how does one get to partake into this program? Do you have to be referred? Are there requirements for enrollment?
So there is a few requirements, but I was able to bend the rule in a very positive way.
Okay.
Which means that even if they're not GED or high school, we do have other programs that can get them up to that point. With Miss Ann's and the other barber program, if they stop at 10th grade, we're not encouraging that. Go get your high school diploma.
Right.
You did.
But if you're in 10th grade and you're having a lot of issues, you can go into a cosmetology program legally.
Right.
Legally. But other than that, if they go into overalltraining.org and sign up for the program, I'm able to bring them in and start training them immediately. It's a little hard because sometimes you have some boundaries. or whatever the case may be, because there's a lot of different programs going on in the city of Philadelphia. So to hear about an overall training is fairly new.
Right.
However, I have been teaching in the city for about 7 years. I have students all over that's doing very well, but it's been only a year since we've been certified. So we're actually getting ourselves out now so that we can let people know, hey, we're here to help.
Right.
And we have a lot of testimonials and a lot of good stories that's stating that they're out working now in the field or in the city of Philadelphia. So right now we're working on expansion, and we're also working on getting ourselves out there to let everybody know we're here. Overalltraining.org.
Okay, and is
Well,
there any?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. One quick question: is there any specific age range?
So we're going from 16 and up. So you could be 90.
Okay.
If you-
Okay,
if
but you
you-
have to be at least be 16.
At least be 16.
Okay.
But if you're starting at 14 and you need something to do, and your parent decide, hey, they always want to do dentistry, or hey, they always want to do those things, we're developing pre-apprenticeship programs to
Right.
start bridging them or creating that pathway. If they
Right.
want to become a dentist, it doesn't stop at dental assistant or cosmetology. If they want to
Right.
be a chemist, we're building these pathways now so that they could kind of bridge up and move into where they want to be. But now the poverty can actually move so that they're not sitting out here taking 4 years in college to become this.
Right.
So now you can start off as a dental assistant. If you want to become a dentist, within that 4 years, you can work, learn, train, and then go to college if that's what you want to do.
Right. Right.
So, what would you
I'm sorry. Yeah.
No problem. Oh no, I just wanted to let everyone know. 15th yesterday started National Apprenticeship Week nationally.
First year.
Yes, and this is the first year that overall training is actually has a celebration. So starting this tomorrow, we have the 17th, 18th, and 19th. So tomorrow we'll be at the Discovery Center at 3401 Reservoir Avenue, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And that tomorrow is for employers, small businesses, community organizations, HR professionals, and we're doing compliance. So we call our speed training. So you get a little touch of everything. So we're going to talk about OSHA, HIPAA, COVID-19, EEOC, and compliance for Pennsylvania registered apprenticeship programs. So you get to learn a little bit, you get to network with others, HR professionals and all. And we have a little lunch for you. It's all free. And then Thursday, we're going to be at 3601 North Broad.
639.
Oh, 639 North Broad on Thursday. And that's speed training, and that's where you get to learn about the various programs that she explained.
We're going to do a 15-minute training, so everybody that has a training program will be out giving just a brief lesson plan on something. So for a dental assistant, I'll be teaching on periodontal disease. For Miss Ann, she might be teaching dye. So we're going to give you
Hair
just
color.
hair color. I'm sorry,
Yes,
she
hair
did this.
color.
She
9 eggs and you color hair.
Exactly.
It's
true.
Yes.
It's true.
Hair color.
So
I'm sorry,
just
go
a
ahead.
brief. It's just going to be a brief
Yeah.
lesson plan on some of the things that we have to offer. So we're going to bring the teachers to you. We're going to make it public. So we'll send you the video so you guys can show it if that's something you guys are interested
Oh,
in.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Because
so you get it. Yeah, come on out and get a
And
chance
again, I want to say we're
experience.
family. And when I say we're family, it started with us. All this stuff that we're doing now is nothing new under the sun. Our ancestors created trades. And so now we're able to bring it back to the forefront and really work together and be unified. It's unique in the fact that this young black woman was able to be an all trainer for all of the things that we want to do within our communities, like welding, chemistry, biotech, the drones, cosmetology. Like that's rare to see
Very
somebody
rare. Very
to be
rare.
able to have this right from the Department of Labor. And I want to give her applause because I thank God that I had a chance to meet her.
Absolutely.
And we have brilliant minds, and we underestimate the quality of our brilliant mind. This brother right here is brilliant, and so we can do it. I feel like
Yes, we
sometimes
can.
we give other people the baton, but it's ours to run.
Yes, it is.
You know, so I just thank God that we're able to sit in this space, and success is for our young men and women.
Yes, it
You know,
is.
it's not just unheard of. And I think sometimes we think about, oh, how did you run a business? I'm one of the only black-owned businesses in my block, and I've been there for a minute. And it is hard because sometimes the brothers that's lacking want to rob a sister like me. And that's real talk. So the reality of it is we got to create opportunities so we don't be fighting and struggling. Because other people
Absolutely.
winning. They
Yes.
winning in our neighborhoods.
So
they
we
not
need to
coming
win.
in.
Yes.
You know, so I'm going to get off my soapbox.
No, you good.
No, this is what we. That's what we do here.
That's
That's what we do. You go right on the head.
That's usually where I sit.
Yes. So you in that seat.
I'm in that-
He can do.
But in
Now
the,
me.
That's that spot.
in the energy we
Let me rub some.
Right.
Because I was going to ask,
Right.
who is the brother? He
So,
came in, you know,
Seen him.
he
Say
got
Shine.
warm smiles from y'all, so I'm
Yeah.
like, who is the brother?
So
What's
Say
going
Shine
on?
is
You
we met
mind
him
being on
at an
camera?
event. So yeah, he's an activist, right? And he's one of those real brothers. We're getting ready to do a round table with the black men, and I'm the one that stand behind the scenes. And I applaud my brothers that want to take leadership and know not just the streets, but know how to do business in the streets.
Right.
Because we can't change. I'm a black woman. I can't go to the neighborhood and say, "Yo, I need y'all to change this." But nobody's going to change our children except the young brothers in the neighborhood. So we got to look at the resources that we have to be able to pull our brothers and sisters up and change the way we've been thinking.
Right.
Because they said the homicide rate is what, 475? That's just on paper. That's not realistic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The numbers are a lot higher, and who is changing it? Nobody's coming in and saying, you know what, we're doing these roundtable talks, but nobody's creating solutions to find opportunities for our young men.
Oh,
So this brother,
solutions.
Yeah, we have solutions going.
But they're not implementing them.
well,
'cause
Right.
you
I'm all about
Right.
implementation. So
Yes.
this brother is
We got to implement.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
come
this
on.
is why he's here today. And honestly, I thank God because he texted me, he called me like, yo, Miss Ann, what we going to do? How we going to make this happen? And I'm like, we have soldiers that's all really and ready and capable. So I'm just thankful that he came here today to really show love and support because that's what we're going to need to move this engine forward.
Absolutely.
I like to also give him a shout out because we all met him at the same time at the Beckett Life Center, and him and another young man, they went to Queen Mother Falaka Fatah. You do not know how much you lifted her heart. You gave her hope. She'll be 90 in December 28th. She's going back to what they did before, but a lot of those people just aren't here anymore. And she's been praying for somebody. And brought me to a conference at the Beckett Life Center. One of the guys said, well, they are the old heads, they the old gang members. They said they're going to organize and get together. So I told him, hey, call Queen Mother. He said, oh my gosh, she's alive. When they did the gang summit to stop the gang war in 74, their gang hosted that summit. He knew her. So Sean also, both of them went down there. Every week she does a community meeting of solutions. They went down there. Since then, that was the 6th of November. I wasn't there, but I typed up the notes. On Sunday, the 21st, 1 o'clock, at the House of Umoja, they're having a press conference, and they're calling for a ceasefire for Thanksgiving. And all these different organizations have come together, and they say, partners in peace.
Right.
So they're just coming together. Everybody do different things, but they're coming together to work and see how they can do. And they've been in talks and all. So this notion that our young people don't, or our young people are this and our young people are that, that's not true.
That's not true.
It's a false narrative.
Yeah, it's a false narrative, and it's a false narrative too. A lot of times the people on the front line, they so busy working, everybody think nobody's doing anything. But it does take each and every one, and it starts with how we speak. We speak things into existence.
Yes.
Absolutely. I truly believe that.
So I'm not gonna get on my soapbox.
You sure?
We already did it a little bit, but what I do want to let everybody know is like, how did y'all get to this point? Like, why do you do this? Like, why you already talked about it a little bit, but like, again, one of the things that pulled me towards y'all when y'all came into class, because it was like, damn, these are some queens, and they talking the same way I talk to my young boys. It's like, yo, the story got to be real. They need the story.
Absolutely.
Just like when you were saying earlier, like, that's majorly important, us being there to tell our stories. Somebody got to be the degree guy. Somebody got to tell the young folks, listen, everything you think you about to experience, I did it already. I experienced it already. And I'm going to give you another way to go about it so you don't crash or bang out, or so you could just succeed.
Right.
Yes.
By hearing my story, I was talking to my young folks, and I was telling them you can empathize with success as well.
Right.
You don't always
Right.
gotta empathize and put yourself in somebody's shoes when something negative happens, when something, and that's very important to do. But you can also empathize with a person's success as well. You can walk in those shoes too. You can feel happy when they feel happy. Whatever they did and it's making them happy, you can empathize with that. You can walk in those shoes and say, damn, all right, that's what made them happy. I'm gonna be happy too, the same way. So what is it that brought you to this point? Like, yo, I have to do this.
Right. Well, I would say the struggle. The struggle is real. I grew up in North Philly, 12th and Lehigh. You know, I went to bed sometimes with no food, and my mom worked hard, but she did the best she could. You know, when they got divorced, we went from upper class to lower class. I'm like, damn, this is really bad. So I would have to say I worked 2 jobs so I wouldn't have to deal with the everyday struggle. My kids never went to bed hungry. You know what I mean? I was blessed to have a husband for 24 years. We're divorced now. Wish him much success. And honestly, our black man needs to stay in their children's life. So the women that are on this live, please don't hurt the children by being mad at the man. I still make sure my children have a close relationship with their father. So that's important. I think when you think about breaking up, you break up the whole family barrier. And that creates a level of poverty and not success. So
Right.
for me, I look at our family legacy. We're still together as a family. He got a new wife. I love them, and I keep them over there. Like, I'm real clear. I was able to maintain and keep my business, but I worked 2 jobs all my life. So now I learned how to work smarter. I don't allow people to tell me what I can and can't do. And when you push me to a corner, I'm a fight. And that's why the barbers and stylists say, "Ian, you the president." And I'm like, well, I don't want to do this. I want to give it to. They said, no, God gave it to you. So for me, I look at the oppression that people put us in. It's like, that's enough. 400 years of slavery, we're tired.
Right.
And we're not looking at some radical revolution, but when you look at people that are hurting us on a daily basis and you blaming us like we're the animals, like something is backwards here. So when I have the conversations with different nationalities, they say, and I hear you. And they're saying, let us come to the table and make some changes. But I don't need nobody treating me like I'm a puppet. I don't work
Right.
for you. I've been
Right.
self-employed and working all my life. So
Yes.
I'm never going to let you control me. And that's really what our young men and women need to see. Don't allow money to control you. Don't allow a man to control you, or a woman. Don't allow your kids. You decide who you want to become, and you aim for that. So I listen to Dr. Miles Monroe. He's deceased, but that man taught about financial, family, integrity, responsibility to your family first. Don't run after everything else and notoriety. You got to know why you're here in this moment. So if anybody want to listen to Dr. Miles Monroe, he is phenomenal. So he blessed my life like so many others. But yeah, that's who I am, and that's what I stand for. Thank you.
Okay.
That was deep.
Listen.
Don't give me the phone.
So, for me, very similar to Miss Ann, you know, I grew up in a very, you know, Philadelphia. You know, so we come from a lot of diverse backgrounds, and we have grew up in poverty. I came from the crack epidemic. I'm an 80s baby. So I walked over those crack vials. I remember how it felt like to see drug dealers or murders and killing, a lot like what it looks like today. So I end up growing up and getting into trouble sometimes, and I decided to put myself in college. And from there, I dropped out and had a child and did a few other things. But from there, you know, I became a dental assistant, and then I started teaching. I taught myself how to move forward. I didn't graduate college, but I became a teacher. So it's a way that we could do certain things. So the reason why I started overall training is quite simple. I seen a group of kids that was sitting in front of me, not kids, 16, 20, 50, 40, but I seen that it was an issue. I see that it's all these different ages that's all acting the same. The trauma is so serious with what's going on inside of our community, and I got sick and tired of seeing people that was in leadership playing games with my people. These kids or these adults could not read past 2 paragraphs of anything serious, but they wanted it. They were there for a reason. They signed up for financial aid for a reason. But all while I'm sitting here trying to get through a class, I got to take guns out their hands. I got to crawl under bath stools. I have to pray with them, cry with them, and laugh with them. I had to be their mother, their father, their aunt, their sister, their cousin, all while I'm trying to figure out life on my own, facing through Philadelphia and their politics and their business issues. That's not my issue, and that's not theirs. So when I came out to develop overall training, it was for one main reason, to cut the bullshit. I'm sick of it. There is no reason why my kids, why my community is going through some of the things that they're going through, or some of the things that I went through, based off of barriers and obstacles that are invisible. And there's no reason why, when we're dealing with leadership, that we have to jump through these competitions. Because that's what it is. It's a competition. It's bullcrap.
Yeah.
Because most of them can't even do half of the stuff that my kids can do in this community. So I got sick of it. So now, here go overall training. Because I am totally flabbergasted at some of the things that we have to go through in order to succeed in our city. So if we have all these things going on that is so great, why is our murder so great? Why is the reading level so low? Why is training programs so hard to put in? And why is it making a competition to have people that look like me to sit here and teach people like them if we don't have to sign a paycheck? So why can't we develop and start these programs and have the same responsibility as some of these other different schools do? It's a fight and it's a battle.
Mm-hmm.
And for the tears of my students, for the cries that I had, for the journeys that I seen them go through, and for the struggle for everybody that's buried in the city of Philadelphia is the reason why I'm here right now. Because enough is enough.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's where I'm at.
And
Thank you.
let me
Yes.
go on.
But you know I'm a crowd.
Yeah, I was.
I'm sorry.
Let's keep going down.
serious.
Before I chime in, let's keep going down. Let's keep going.
Well, I am just who I am. You know, I don't believe in coincidence. Everything has a divine purpose. God's put you into places.
Yes.
You know, technically I have this super high IQ. You know, far as with the European standards or whatnot.
Just
technically.
She's super smart and being
just
cute about it.
No, that's
Nothing
you know,
wrong with it.
so what they say. You know, it
Black
doesn't.
girls rock.
I mean, I've written people's PhDs. So
Woo!
I don't
Well,
necessarily
I mean-
be, you know, I'm just
Yeah.
saying just because somebody has a degree and all
Right,
that
right.
doesn't necessarily they can even write a sentence.
That's
you know?
true.
But God has always put me in a place of, I had a single mom, 10 years. I just came out of taking care of her with Alzheimer's. I'm an only child. And she just passed June 25th, 2020. So I'm literally in a real transition in my life. And the sicker she got, the more I kind of reverted. Had to go in because I could really just take care of her. But I really do believe everything happens for a reason. You know, my mom came home, I was 7 years old. I had everything for sale on her enclosed porch. Unfortunately, it was enclosed because I probably would have sold the whole house. I was always into this business thing. And but I always had a hard time being fed. Like, nobody just was into what I was into. I always felt
Right.
different. You know, the maybe only child, whatever. So when I started working with youth, I don't know, I just always had a heart for the youth. So I did youth ministry. I went to the same church starting at age 13 until like 56, just till last year. Special ministry for the deaf and hearing. So I grew up with deaf people. Supposedly they had but I just never saw people that way. I always have this tendency to see the greatness in people. But at the same time, like I said, my mom was a waitress. She worked downtown. She's a single mom. And we had an apartment on 61st Street. But for me to get to the corner store, I had to pass the people shooting up. That was heroin back then. I had to pass them to get to the corner store. The apartment next to us, they used to jump on the mattresses. They play out. They put the apartment mattress on the roof. They would jump up and down. I got to church. When I first started the church, they were actually, my neighbors was in that church. She had a deaf daughter, and she interpreted. Everything's connected. You never know. That was when I was 9, but I didn't start that church till I was 13. But her daughter, Carla, who was my friend, one of the Carla was in the street, and she was dating she was 13 and she was dating this guy 20. And I'm like, Carla, what's doing? Why you want you to go home? Her mom put her out because she told her mom that her stepdad was messing with her. Her mom didn't believe her and put her out. And it's just, I've been constantly in that situation. So whether it's been on people in the project and their problems, or up in New York, 125th Street, my Aunt Sydney was at their projects. That's where I would stay at. But at the same time, I might have been at the White House. And then we all had these opinions about each other. They just need to pull themselves up by their bootstraps.
Yeah.
But what if you can't see your bootstrap? Sometimes you don't know you have a bootstrap.
You don't have a boot.
That's right.
Yeah. And so it's not that they don't want,
Right.
and then they all this, they all bougie, they think we always, compartmentalize
Right.
people.
Judging.
So I feel like, my mission has been to share each other's stories and to
Right.
create empathy
Right.
and to demonstrate. That's like through the strategy to demonstrate, because we had to stop being like our oppressor. I think coming into the House of Umoja, which Mom taught, West Africa to West Philadelphia. when you learn that African culture and various things, those are things we do from the way we dance. Dr. He was a Reverend Jeremiah Wright.
Okay.
He taught class under United Way. As a youth leader, I took one of his classes. Like, they wanted to demonize him. But mind you, United Way sent for youth leadership, went to a class. But he talked about the African disciplines. He did right there. Automatically, if we start singing Wade in the Water, we're all going to clap on the eighth note. It's inherent in us.
Yeah.
We don't know our past. We make these assumptions. They make Africa look poor and bad and all of this. So I'm not from Africa. So it's like all of these things we need to learn about self.
Right.
And Mom has a quote: "The family is the problem, and the family is the solution."
That's it.
Yes.
And she always had this concept of a kinship community. Every woman is a mother, and every man is a father. If we recognize we really are family, we are responsible for one another. No man is an island, whatever, all of that.
Yeah.
And we have all the tools. God knew us from the dawn of time. He knew us, who we were going to come, how we were going to come, and we all have an appointed purpose and gift. We each have it.
Yes.
So everything we need, that, you know, that I believe that's the devil blinded evil.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
Because God never moved. The Garden of Eden never changed. Nothing around them changed. They ate, and then they thought differently.
Yeah.
So it's our mind. So I really feel, I feel my purpose is to develop optimal thinking, help us develop our mind, and I feel it's through the arts, and in that way we can raise the nation. We need to raise the nation, and before they know it,
Yes.
Up.
do like a Monique. They just
That's
raise it up. But we have to change our mind
Right.
and thinking.
And we have to support one another. I think that's
Yes.
the key.
But that's the change in the mind.
That's the change.
Yeah,
If
definitely.
you don't
You
know,
gotta change
if
it.
you don't think, we experience life through our experiences.
Right.
There's something called Don Miguel's The Four Agreements. And the first agreement is be impeccable with your word. One of the
Say that
hardest
again.
ones. Be impeccable with your word.
Impeccable.
Impeccable.
And that's what, and that's a growth lesson.
Right.
That's like the goal.
Right.
The other one is what people think about you is none of your business.
All right.
Stairs.
And that's hard. We worry, but what he says is everybody experiences life through their experience.
Right.
Yes.
So getting hyped about how somebody feels or think about you, you haven't been through the experience, so it's really hard for you to control that. You can control your own.
Absolutely.
So
the third?
everything comes back, and that understanding is, like, when we're born, we automatically start looking outside of ourselves. We
Right.
look for love and God and everything outside of ourselves. But we were born with everything we already need.
It's innate.
So we get lost outside of ourselves, and everything we need is already here.
Influence of it.
And so understanding and thinking, we begin to attract what we need. And it
Right.
just seems like all of a sudden what you need just appears.
Yeah.
Right.
And does it just appear? It was
Was
already
it-
there. We
exactly. You
our
just couldn't
thought
see it.
blinded us from seeing whatever we needed to see.
What's the third thing? I'm kind of curious.
I had to get up and
Put
look
it
at
third and
it.
fourth. I'm trying to get the third and fourth. I'm trying to get all the meat. Give me all the meat, genius.
I can't remember. Those are the two that stick with me.
Okay,
Be
gotcha,
impeccable
gotcha.
with your words, and
should've
what
known.
people think about you
Number two stretch.
is none of your business.
And I'm gonna tell you, out of all that was stuck with me, the problem is in the family, and the solution is in the family.
Yes.
Yes.
That's what resonated with me because I am a true advocate, and I fight for the black family.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that we don't do it enough,
Yeah.
and I think that it starts within us.
Yeah.
Like, it starts with you. Change starts with you. And I think any kind of restructuring or recovery or growth has to come holistically.
Right.
Yes.
You got to attack everything about it. You just can't focus on one thing. You know, like training programs. Yeah, I want to learn a skilled trade, but like you said, I'm crying inside,
Right.
right?
Right.
So where's the other part of me that's going to get helped
Right.
while I'm learning how to, be a dental hygienist, or
Right.
while I'm learning how to do hair?
Right.
That other part of me still needs help.
Right.
So I feel like that holistic approach to development, recovery, rebranding who you are, and it starts in the family. And the family starts with one person. It starts inside of you. And like you said, a mother and a father. And we have to teach our children, and we have to address our children and raise our children in a way that they can embrace who they are. We're not embracing who we are enough.
And we don't embrace one another.
Exactly. It's not going to
With
happen.
the kids, I felt that because, and maybe I probably was a little smart, different, whatever. Sometimes I say, but I always felt ostracized.
Right.
Yeah.
So I would go in. I even had people, and girl was totally L7, and I took up for her. Hey, be comfortable, we get in school, trying to be, be all nice, help her up. She turned around, get on the gospel course and say, look at you. Look at the way it was just like always something. And then my mom was always moving. And being the only child, I came up in North Philly, but then my godmother took care, and she took care of 23 kids a day. So in North Philly, I was rolling hard. Came to West Philly, that was a whole different story. And then, you move, so you always the new person.
Yeah.
You're
You always
the one
evolving.
standing out, always the one being attacked.
Yeah.
But so I just always,
But you're making a good point with that, because, and with piggybacking off of what you were saying as well, that family dynamic is really important.
It is.
But that family dynamic been taken away for about 20 years now. So it's having to relearn that, and then we're ushering into a new era where family is looks a little different.
It looks different now.
But we still
But
have.
I think people
a
have
lot of-
other agendas. Excuse me for cutting you off.
But you're right.
Because I teach my kids, even at a very young
trying
age,
not to go there.
honor thy mother and father for your days on earth will be long. You have to have the foundation. Like, I thank God that during the pandemic, my kids helped me out, because financially, it was a struggle. So they stepped right up to the plate. And I say that to say, because I raised them to become educated, self-sufficient, they was able to help me when I was falling. So that foundation is key. And I think we kind of minimize that, but you can't be successful and have a fly business and your kids is raggedy. Or we just dressing them up and all of this fly stuff, but they don't have no sense. Like, no home training, no food, no foundation.
Or not
like,
looking out for your neighbor. Everybody.
Yeah.
That's
out
the
but I'm
biggest
thinking,
part.
I'm thinking, like,
Yeah,
That's
you gotta
the biggest
see,
part.
like with me, my
But dinner,
I was
like,
married
just
and my
basic.
husband passed, so I'm widowed now, right?
Right.
So at 31, I'm widowed,
right.
right? My stepdaughter, she had 3 kids, but she was on crack. The third day her oldest was born, she had left him. So I come home and her brother got him. And by that, he was born December 4th. By January, we had to call DHS to take a hold of him. One time she took him, went out, never came back. My husband literally walked around the neighborhood. It's just because his aunt had lived in Philly for 50 years, because they really weren't even from Philly, but his aunt had lived there. He went around that neighborhood, kept asking people. Now, first the drug dealers, like, we want to say whatever, but when she would go to cop, they said, Mr. Gordy, Angie trying to cop. She was 8 months pregnant. So we took her from down there where she was staying with my mother-in-law, brought her home with us. So when she had the baby, she was at home. And then when she left him there. But one time she came in, wanted to show off, took her baby. She didn't come back. My husband walked the neighborhood until he found her. And that's when we had to take physical custody. But if it had not been for the grace of God,
Right.
we didn't see her for another 2 weeks. There are people I know, they're drug dealers that had kids. This one young guy, he was 9, and they bought him a new coat and everything, and then he kept it on until it got filthy and soiled.
You can't change it.
Because
hard.
he was afraid when he would take it off, his mom would steal it.
Wow. Yeah.
We have to. I don't know. You know how many trips I had to go get my grandkids. It started with Omar. I had to go get them. They were left. Even the other grandmother, she was leaving them. So I would go get them, and then I would go pick them up, and I would take care of them. And so it can't be just who I birthed or just that family has to extend. I'm not afraid, just kids, they, I'm not afraid, and they did that. I'm like, well, you better slow your roll. Come up here and pick up this trash y'all got in front. And they talking.
They gotta respect you. You gotta build that respect to the kids. Like, I think a lot of times adults don't relate to the children because they don't
Because
Befriend
we
them.
judge.
We-
That's the
yeah, and I
words.
think
We
that's the
say
part
such
too, yeah.
hurtful words. I've heard
Yeah.
I heard people in the church talk about the young girls. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you just a girl. At 10, you just this girl. All of a
Right.
sudden, you blossom. You get all of this. So you're doing
Right.
the same thing, but now they speak about you differently.
It's a deep topic right now.
Mhm.
Like, honestly, just based off of my experience of just developing this business, I have ran into, woo, Lord, if I hear one more thing about myself that I did not know, but just good, but then again, I wouldn't be here or wouldn't have had the retention rate if I didn't know what I was doing.
Right.
But even no matter what age you are, you're going to still reach, you know, those environments or those situations where we're kind of stampering out the light.
Right,
So
right.
the black community need to work on this one major thing from my experience. Shut up for a minute.
And
Let's see
support.
what their gift is.
Yeah.
Let them work and stop trying to overpower them.
Right.
Get out the way
You know?
and raise them up.
Right.
And that's what you're saying. That's the
Listen,
main
yeah,
point.
listen
And
to
that's
them.
what we're doing to each other. We don't allow each other to talk. We don't allow them to move.
Right.
And then you got all these boundaries. And you're saying, oh, the white person, the oppressor, or the city. At the end of the day, it's us.
It's us.
Because we won't let them grow
Right.
because we're sitting here talking.
Yeah.
And then
They
when it's
are
time for
against.
them to actually put in the work to get certain things done, they're not able to do it. But if you would have let him and her actually do what it is that they've been begging you to do,
What they were
Don't be
born
jealous,
to
because
do.
really what you're
What about
talking
what
about
they
is
were
a big
born to
rooted thing
do?
of jealousy, because you deal
It's
with that. Like
control.
haters,
It's a
haters are going to be
control.
haters, but you got to dust it off. Like when I can look at a person's eyes and say, "Oh, you jealous of me." You hate. Like when I look at
Control.
Nipsey Hussle, I said that's a prime example. That brother stalked him because he wanted to be put on. And when people covet you, I get away from them. So if I recognize you hating on me, I'll be back. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
over here with a couple
See you
people that
later.
got my back and gonna pray for me, because you right there. You need to stay over there.
Right.
Because I'm not gonna hinder you, but I'm not gonna trust you either.
that's right.
Right.
The thing that I'm hearing, we talk about it a lot, and I definitely
That's a
gotta
big
give
deal.
my right hand sister over there. I definitely got to give her kudos because she always the black family, the black family.
Yes.
They are attacking the black family. We got to make sure we protect the black family. We got to build the black family back up. And like y'all said, it is going to look different from the standpoint of I might not be your biological father,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna show you that love.
Right.
She might not be your biological mother, but she got to show you that love. And one of the things that we've been talking about a lot is come outside.
Right.
Like, I know it's a pandemic. I know wear a mask, get the vaccine. We're going to
Right,
have a
do
whole
what you-
conversation about
Right.
that too. But do whatever you need to do to come outside and see what's going on in
Right.
real time.
Can I ask you a
People need-
question? Just based off of what you're saying, with the mother, the father, the love, the aunts, the uncles, and having the people that look just like you, how do you feel about your interaction with that community? Like, do you feel like you're getting that type of love? Do you feel like you're getting that type of embracement?
Well, me, I talk about this a lot.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? People love me. And I'm going to be honest with you.
Right,
Like,
right.
People, I've genuinely been loved all my life. I never come and tell you this hard luck story about I got abandoned people that like wherever I'm at, but I'm a love boy. Like
Bless.
we joke about that.
He's a
Because
love
I feel
guy.
like
I'm a
you
love
get
boy.
it back.
He's a
Right.
love
You get
guy.
it back. And since I
Right.
actually was loved at a young age by some real real queens, real women, and they was all around me, I was able to be like that. I could move around, and then that love got taken advantage of when I had to find out who I was as a man, with misplaced loyalty and stuff like that. But it never stopped me from, because I know what the feel like.
You was able
Right.
to
And I've been
bypass it.
around cats that haven't felt that,
Right.
and I felt that.
Right.
Like, damn, this brother ain't never been loved before, and it threw me off. Like,
Wow.
oh wow. And
Yeah.
then you start hearing sisters say, "Listen,
Right.
man, I ain't never been protected. Nobody ever." I'm like,
Protection.
"How? What-
Oh,
what-
man,
what
that's
world
another
is this
thing.
possible?"
Wow.
So one thing about me is like, yo, I feel like I get the love because I give it, and that's
Right.
very intentional.
Right.
And I love my people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Black folk, African folk, they come first. Everybody else is like, yo, after I take care of I used to tell this story a lot. Like, my mom looked, my brothers, they live across the street from me. I'm over there sweeping, getting busy. My mom look out the window, see me, call me. How you over there? And I know and everything, and you over there, that's your friends. But did you see your room?
Let's start there.
Let's
And
get
that-
the house
that-
first.
Let's
at a
start
young
there.
age, that was the thing.
Right.
You don't gotta not clean up their house, cause those your folks.
Right.
But you gotta make sure your house is straight
There
first.
you
That's
go.
right.
And that's the same thing with y'all saying with the us I gotta make sure I'm loving me first.
Right.
And when I get that love out, it comes back.
Hmm.
But the other thing that I wanted to say, and I think this is really important, two things. One, you said everybody want to be the same age, and I definitely noticed that. Where it's like from 18 to about 60, everybody want to be the same age, and it's 18.
Really?
Everybody want to wear the same things. They want to listen to these young folks' music.
Yes.
They want to dress like the young
Yes.
folks.
I
They wanna
disagree.
talk
It's
like
true.
the young folks.
It
It's
is.
no-
Really?
It's
The
no
majority.
years. It's no. When I was young,
You knew the
18 to
difference.
21,
Right.
we did our thing. We had our own language, the way we dressed. Maybe about 25 to 30 or 30 to 35, they listen to a different music. They talk differently.
Right.
This is my experience. And I know it's
difference.
yours. And then like 40, 50, they was listening to doo-wop. And
Right,
you
right.
understand what I'm saying?
Right,
I'm
right.
listening to
You-
hip-hop.
it's a clear
My mom was
separation.
listening to
Right,
Seth
right,
MacFarlane,
clear
and my
separation.
grandmama
Right.
listening to doo-wop.
Right.
They all talk different, speak different.
Okay.
And that's something you aspire to be.
Right.
Our young folks don't have nothing because we ain't being the example.
Right.
The thing that I was about to say about that was, before you start chastising somebody young,
Check yourself.
see where
That's it.
you might be the reason. Before
That's
you
it.
go and say,
That's
why are
it.
you?
That's
Just take a
it.
step back.
What
and-
was
and
your
ask yourself,
contribution?
Right,
what-
right.
What was your
That's it.
contribution?
That's it.
Everybody out there,
What's
say it
wrong?
to the
What's
camera,
wrong?
brother.
Say
Say
it
it
to
to the
what
camera,
is
because
your
we gotta go. Say it to the camera. What was your contribution? What was your contribution to our youth?
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Before you
What's the
chastise
truth?
the young folk, before you chastise the young folk, take a step back and think about how you dropped the ball.
Right.
You might have said something that led them to do that. You showed them something that led them to do that, or you didn't give them the proper instruction. You might wind up not being a problem, but I bet you, if it's any
You're
young
part
folk
of
that
it.
you have the ability to chastise, the reason why they doing what they doing because something you may have done wrong, and you should check that first.
Responsibility.
Exactly. The
Responsibility.
problem starts in the home, and the solution is in the home, in the family, in the family,
Yeah.
in the family,
A
in the
leadership.
family and community.
Yes.
Thank y'all so much for
you.
coming out. The love, support, and grace was so real today, y'all.
Thank
Philly
you.
service announcement, Glockaware Radio 2 Kid. Thank you, because I know our time is a little off right now. But thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh my gosh, y'all gotta come back. Everybody
Thank
comes
you.
back. My brother said everybody comes back. Everybody
having
comes
us.
back.
You gotta get this dope picture.
Thank you for
Yes,
having us.
we out, y'all.
Yes.
Thank you.
Love you.
Westfield.